50 years ago, there were about 1 million people in Kenya. Today, there are over 40 million and the number is expected to rise to 60 million in the next 16 years. In that time, the Kenyan landscape and infrastructure has gradually transformed to cope with these growth numbers, to increase productivity and resources for Kenyans to get food, water, housing, jobs, transport, business, education, health, energy and other utilities and infrastructural needs.
Energy will determine where someone is going to invest, how they're going to invest and what they will do. So there are wonderful programs at the moment in terms of development. Juba to Lamu corridor. I think it's a repeat of a history from Mombasa to Kampala in 18th century. Now we are in 21st century, we're going with another massive program. And that will bring in a lot of innovation, technology and a lot of new entrepreneurs on the same corridor.
To cope with the fragile and limited resources of a developing economy, engineers and scientists have been constantly challenged to come up with solutions to meet and cope with these increasing social needs. Through science and technology, innovations, utilities and infrastructures have been created and designed to improve the quality of modern lifestyle and economy. But even so, there are still places barely touched by these developments. Over 47% of Kenyans live below the poverty line. The majority of Kenyans still rely on subsistence agriculture as a source of income, and even in the areas that have large industrial and infrastructural developments, access to modern amenities is irregular with a high cost of utilities. The saying is surely true: everything around you has been engineered in some way. This series will take you across the country and show you Kenya's transformation into a modern society. We will explore the impact of engineering, science and technology on the lives of Kenyans and bring you the people and institutions, even the technologies that have made this happen. Over the course of 10 weeks, we shall take a close look into what it takes to move Kenya to the next level. Imagine a world without energy. We need energy to survive, from cooking our foods to fueling our vehicles. However, Kenya's water resources are not sufficient to meet the growing demand for electricity. It therefore comes as no surprise that Kenya is Africa's leading producer of geothermal energy. Currently standing at just over 20% of total electricity in Kenya, geothermal energy production is expected to surpass that of hydroelectricity in the next 10 years, greatly reducing our dependence on hydropower.
There's a lot of potential and the country needs to develop it. Naturally, there will be a concern and focus on ensuring that the end tariff matches the expectation of the country's development. It will require participation by investors to try and make sure that they invest and develop the geothermal on a win-win scenario.
To counteract the negative impact of high cost of energy, many companies and engineers have found different ways of reducing the amount of energy used in the factory as a means to keep the costs of energy as low as possible.
ARM is among the largest energy consumers in Kenya today. We are number 2 in terms of consumption, and we have adopted a strategy of concerted energy efficiency, incorporating at design stage, process and through our human interventions. So energy efficiency is at the core of our process team. It is translated into the consumer price, into the social benefit, into growing this economy in other aspects.
It is roads that bring and sustain civilization. Through roads, remote and inaccessible places are opened up, and with that come development, business, trade and civilization. Before the 8-lane Thika superhighway was constructed, many Kenyans had given up on the possibilities of ever having good roads. Potholes, traffic jams and death traps were some of the commonly used words in association with roads. To support economic growth, Kenya needs an efficient road network in order to maximize economic and social benefits. Roads play a significant role in achieving national development and contributing to the overall performance and social functioning of the community. To ensure that our roads are safe and durable, engineers are working with other professionals to improve the technologies and materials used in constructing different roads.
As far as development in roads here, there's been a massive development, without doubt. When you look at what they call the superhighway, and we need more of that. I think the engineers here are very well qualified. And I think most of them are dedicated. I don't think the industry really has the funds to challenge these people. And I think that's where the problem is.
Matatus. Kenya is popular and most preferred means of transportation. From huge buses to small 7-seater shuttles, matatus have evolved to meet the demands of Kenyans and cope with the infrastructural reach of Kenya's road transport. Several factors have come together to make matatus Kenya's most successful transportation means. Flexible road network, good engineering to cope with the harsh Kenyan roads and low-quality diesel in our pumps, privately owned businesses, and recently the conversion of many matatu routes into cooperative owned and managed businesses, which has helped to increase accountability, safety and stability of fare prices. Air travel offers a fast and convenient means to travel over any long or short distances. It is also ideal for freights requiring speed and quick deliveries, such as Kenya's thriving fresh flower export business and perishable commodities.
We expect that Kisumu International Airport is going to play a central role in making Kisumu City a major business hub in the Lake Basin region. We expect that Kisumu International Airport is going to be a major entry point for investment to this region. We expect that it's going to handle much more traffic, much more cargo in the Lake region and the Lake Victoria Basin.
Many Kenyans risk limb and possession to get into an overcrowded train to travel to work and other distant places. For many, this is the only way they can afford to access their work. Efforts such as the launch of the Syokimau commuter train are seen as a positive step to improve access and cost of transport in Nairobi. Kenya needs to urgently invest in a large modern train system to meet the growing population and to boost movement of goods across the country. Mombasa, Kenya's tourism and seaport center. Run by the Kenya Ports Authority, Kilindini Harbour is one of the region's largest ports and entry point to Kenya and neighboring countries. Sea transport is at the center of international trade. Because freight ships can carry millions of tons of goods in different capacity, they are ideal for transporting bulky goods across the world. Sea transport also boosts tourism through large passenger cruises, supporting one of Kenya's chief sectors.
We have 3 container berths. First, there's berth 16, 17, and 18. The key length of the 3 berths is about 600 meters. And it came a time that comfortably they could not take 3 ships that we would want to serve at the same time. So we thought, the management said we should at least try and extend the key length. And that is how berth 19 came into place. So we can very comfortably have 3 big ships coming in. And it has actually improved a lot on our turnaround time on ships. And it has a backyard. It's about 15 acres, and it can do a throughput of about 200,000 TEUs. That is the capacity of berth 19 alone.
In the last 10 years, Kenya's ICT sector has grown at an average of nearly 20% per year and nearly double that number in the last 3 years, placing ICT as Kenya's driver for economic growth and development. Through the development of communication technology, it has become possible to conduct global communications from the touch of a button. ICT has also opened up other sectors such as banking, commerce, education and entertainment.
Within such a short time of 10 years, we've brought in a new industry based on software development and ICTs and open and remote information gathering systems and so on. We're also seeing a lot of courageous moves into new frontiers like data analytics. So we see a lot of courage in the fraternity of software development, of labs, of hubs, etc. and so on. There's a lot of enthusiasm from the youth and shows promise to take them to a different state of livelihood.
The biggest economies in the world are driven by large industrial investment across all sectors of the economy. From mining to manufacturing and even education, industry drives sustainable economic development. Kenya, as a growing economy, needs a growing industrial sector to develop because they play a big role in creating employment, raising the standards of living and the development of other sectors. For Kenya to raise industry to such levels as they become sustainable, several factors need to be in place, and key among them is science and innovation. In the developed countries, the role of the engineer is well understood and utilized. In Kenya and much of the developing world, however, the available pool of engineering talent is typically below critical mass in both numbers and know-how. Investment in building a well-qualified and sufficiently large pool of engineers leads to sustainable economic development. In addition to increasing the number and quality of engineering graduates and pursuing strategies to have good local jobs available, there is need to build mechanisms to apply research and development results from local universities and companies for economic gain. The agriculture sector is the mainstay of Kenya's economy. The sector is the largest employer in the economy, accounting for over 60% of total employment. Over 80% of the populations, especially living in rural areas, derive their livelihoods mainly from agricultural-related activities. Due to these reasons, the Kenyan government has continued to give agriculture high priority as an important tool for promoting national development.
Vile tumeanza kulima mchele ama kupanda mchele, sasa tunaona hata maji ikiwa mingi inatusaidia juu hiyo mchele inatumia maji. Kama tungepata soko ambayo tunaweza vuna alafu tunauza, tunaweza hata watoto wetu wanaweza soma vizuri.
The advent and technical training on land preparation, planting, fertilization, weeding, harvesting and crop conditioning has helped farmers maximize yield and properly manage their produce throughout the season. Everybody needs a house. Houses make homes, which is where every human being needs for rest, protection from the elements. With the growing population, there is a need for engineers and the sector to come up with affordable and modern housing that appeals to the masses. Water plays an important role in the world economy. Approximately 70% of the fresh water used by humans goes to agriculture. With the general consensus that engineering is a powerful mechanism for promoting social and economic growth, the Kenyan engineering fraternity remains largely underserved and underutilized. It is important to note out that there is no silver bullet that can solve illiteracy, eradicate poverty and hunger, or solve any of our social economic problems to realize a high quality of life. It is our belief, however, that there is tremendous potential to help overcome these challenges through engineering, science, innovation and technology. This will be made possible through public sector leadership and private sector commitment. And as the engineering fraternity in Kenya continues to seek solutions and drive economic growth, there is a huge opportunity for every Kenyan to harness these benefits and the power of science and technology to address these and other urgent development challenges more effectively. Awesome, brought to you by the Kenya Engineer, Institution of Engineers of Kenya and Rhino Cement.